Welcome to Kentucky Horsepower, the official podcast of the Kentucky Automobile Dealers Association. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you might be listening. This is Jason Wilson, president of KADA, and welcome to another edition of Kentucky Horsepower, the official podcast of KADA. And really excited about what we're talking about here today. This is something a bit different for KADA. We haven't gotten involved in these sort of initiatives in the past. And frankly, it's time that we did. So with that, let me introduce our guest here today, Barry Dunn, President and CEO of Kosair for Kids. Barry, thanks for joining us. And a familiar face and friend of KADA for many years, past chairman, Craig. Larry, thanks for joining us and frankly bringing this to KADA's attention about this great charity. So I appreciate you both being with us today. Barry, let's just start. For those not familiar, let's talk about Kosair for Kids. Tell us about this charity. What is the mission? What is it you all do? And to better familiarize our audience here today.
Jason, thank you, and thank all of the KADA members across Kentucky for having us on the podcast and for selecting Kosair for Kids as your charity. Kosair for Kids is 101 years old. We celebrated our centennial anniversary last year, but more importantly, we celebrated a century of service to Kentucky's kids. I cannot emphasize enough that for our entire history, we have been the safety net for children throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky. While our headquarters is in Louisville, we have helped children in every Kentucky county throughout our existence, and we're very proud that last year alone, our programs reached 260,000 children in Kentucky, including children in every Kentucky county. So whether you're in McCracken County out in the far west, or whether you're in Johnson or Pike County out in the far east, Kidman County in the north, Clinton County or Cumberland County in the south, Kosair for Kids is a resource. In fact, is the safety net for children throughout Kentucky, and we are anxious. We're excited to see what we can do with KADA's partnership.
Wow, I did not realize over 100 years, so that's quite a landmark. Just celebrating your centennial anniversary not long ago, so that is good to hear. Larry, you're the one that sort of brought this to KADA's attention. Tell us why you got involved, how you've been involved. I know you serve on the board of directors for this great charity, but tell us what drew you to this and prompted you to want to serve on this board for this great charity.
Like children with needs. That's why I got involved in it. Children need a lot of things, and we're trying to furnish that, and we're trying to get more people involved in it. I was so happy at our meeting last week. We had 35 dealers there, and they voted for it 100%. Since then, I want to tell you, we talked to the Farmer Automotive Group, and they've signed on.
Great. Well, we're really going to promote this, and this takes me into sort of the next part of what we want to talk about on this podcast. So, spoke with Larry, Barry, and sort of talked about, all right, what role can the dealers play? What could this look like? How long do we want this to go on? This sort of charitable endeavor that we get everybody involved with. And frankly, in discussing it, we felt it was important, and Larry mentioned the full board signed off on this in our annual board meeting, and that we do it for all of 2025 because, look, there's no shortage of need out there, and this by doing it all of 2025. This is really allows KADA, its members, the car dealers of Kentucky, and all of you give so much already in your communities throughout the Commonwealth. But this is just another opportunity to really make an impact, show what the car dealers do to support the communities, to support the citizens in their various communities, and in this case, specifically kids. So what we'd like to do, what the recommended ask is for this, is that beginning in January, on each new and used car sale, that $1 be dedicated to Kosair for Kids. And then that money goes to that charity throughout the entire year. Barry, is there anything else you want to add to that? It's pretty straightforward, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to add to that.
Jason, what I'd like to add is our automotive dealers throughout Kentucky are part of the heartbeat of our communities. Auto dealers, you can find them in every Kentucky county just about. and you all have the pulse on what the kids in your community need. And so what I would really encourage, this is a partnership. This is not just Kosair for Kids asking for your financial support. We're also asking you to connect us with children in your community who need our help. We're asking you to connect us with the children's nonprofits in your community who need our help. We have 4 big programmatic areas at Kosair for Kids. And I'm telling you, KADA members can help us on all of these. First, we have experiences for children, one-of-a-kind, unique experiences that are sensory-friendly for those kids who may need a little pick-me-up. Maybe a child's experienced something very traumatic in their life, been a victim of abuse, or has some very complex medical needs. Well, we like to do things like rent out the Kentucky Castle, have a special night at the Louisville Zoo. But we'd like to do things out in the state as well. So if there are ideas that KADA members have of how we can touch kids in a positive way throughout Kentucky, we want to hear them. Second, we have a grants program. We work with over 100 children's nonprofits throughout the state every year to ensure that they have world-class, best-of-their-kind programs. Sometimes it's Down syndrome of Louisville. Sometimes it's an organization that is statewide, like Baptist Health, which delivers the most babies in Kentucky, and we're really supporting some of their NICUs. But sometimes it's something in one of the far reaches of Kentucky. If there is a children's nonprofit in your community that you think could use some help, we're asking KADA members to call us and let us know about it, because we want to put your investment in us to good use. Third, we also have the Face It movement to end child abuse. Over 10 years ago, Kentucky was leading the nation in the rates of child abuse and neglect. We said that's got to stop. And with the support of allies like our automotive dealers throughout Kentucky, we're making an impact. A 48% drop in the last 5 years, which is the biggest drop in the nation. We need your help on reducing child abuse and neglect in Kentucky. And last, a program that's the most near and dear to my heart are those specific kids with complex medical needs who need help. So let me tell you what your money is going to do. You may see it as $1 per car. We see it as $70 is going to pay for an hour of therapy for a child in your community. $5,000 is going to pay for a new set of hearing aids for a child who is deaf or hard of hearing. $20,000 is going to pay for a child who has a spinal cord injury. It's going to pay for hope for that child to one day walk at the Kosair for Kids Center for Pediatric Rural Recovery. We can give you all kinds of statistics, but what I want you to know is behind every statistic, there's a story. There's a story of a child that's in need. And so yes, KADA members can get involved by donating, going to kosair.org/KADA to make those donations. Call our office, and we'll be happy to help you with that. But you can also make a difference by referring children and nonprofits to us, and let us put your money that you're investing in Kosair for Kids to good use, and we'll be blessed to do it.
Well, all great points, Barry, and really it is, the takeaway is how wide-reaching the impact can be, how wide-reaching Kosair for Kids is, and all the opportunities that getting involved in this will provide for the children throughout Kentucky. So obviously, we'll have all the detailed information attached to this podcast and in this email when you receive it, all the contact information. But Barry, I wanted to back up for a moment because I mentioned to Larry, or asked Larry why he got involved. It was very important to him regarding children and whatnot. But I know you have your own reasons for getting involved for Kosair for Kids, and I was wondering if you could share that.
Jason, I'd be happy to. So mine is both personal and spiritual. I do feel a calling to this position. I think that we're called to help those in need, particularly our children. And I know that KADA members throughout Kentucky feel the same way. On a personal level, I have a child that has cerebral palsy. And in 2013, when I was a relatively new lawyer, we got that diagnosis for Connor. I was friends with many of the folks here at Kosair for Kids, and my first call after getting the diagnosis was to the president and CEO at the time. And he told me something that resonated to me. He said, "Barry, I'm sorry to hear that about Connor, but you need to know that if there's ever anything Connor needs and we can't provide it, Kosair for Kids will make sure Connor has it." And Jason, we're making that same pledge here today. With people like Larry Craig by my side, our board of directors has promised, has made a covenant with the children of Kentucky that if there's a need out there that mom or dad or grandma or grandpa can't help with, we're going to make sure it happens. That's why this is so important. We are the safety net for children in Kentucky. We're the largest, most comprehensive children's charity, but we could really use your help to get even deeper. We want to raise those numbers of children that are helped, and we can do that with you. So, KADA is my big why, but we all have whys for what we do, and I'm just blessed to be in this position.
Well, it's an important story, and I think provides a great example as to, again, the impact that this organization can make. I was so excited, actually, after I had some time to sort of research and learn more about it, after Larry brought this to our attention, because I don't see how anybody can not get excited about this. And one of the things that we'll be doing too, this is our introductory podcast, but throughout the course of the year, we'll be providing updates. We'll let everyone know kind of how things are progressing and where things are going, because we want this to stay top of mind. This isn't going to be one of those scenarios where we just, here's what we're doing, you guys have at it. Larry, Barry, myself, all of KADA, our board of directors are going to continue pushing this, keeping it top of mind throughout the course of the year. But we felt this time of year, the holiday season, as we enjoy that time of year and head into the new year, this was the perfect time to launch this initiative. And speaking on behalf of KADA members and the board, we couldn't be more proud to be a part of this. Before we end, Larry, is there anything else you'd like to say? Again, you were instrumental in bringing this to us. I thank you very much for that. But I'd like to give you a last word on this before we wrap today.
It's a perfect cause. I've been doing this for about 8 or 9 years now, and it really makes me feel good that I can help a child. And that's about all I got to say. I see the help that Kosair for Kids is giving the community, and I'm going to be a part of it.
Well, look, I don't think you need a better reason than that. And it's, again, I thank you for bringing it to us. Barry, I appreciate your leadership on this and your own personal story of how this came to be, because it all matters. I think all of us can identify with these things. And we know there's a need throughout the state. And to have this sort of an organization be able to meet those needs and to have us be a part of that in some way, I couldn't be more honored to be aligned with this organization. So, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you get involved with this. We're going to have all the details sent along with this to make this very simple for you. Again, we know you all are involved in all kinds of causes in your own communities. This is a nice way to really bring it all together. And I think, Barry, the point you made earlier is that outreach portion. You know, this is a connectivity exercise as well, connecting Kosair to the various communities and to dealers where they know there are issues. It really comes full circle beyond just, hey, we want to support this organization, but it's introducing this as a resource throughout the state through our dealer network that's so important. So, gentlemen, I thank you for your time today. We are extremely proud to be a part of this, as I mentioned, and we'll look forward to updating this, and there'll be other things as we get this launched. Folks, we appreciate your consideration for this and ask that you fully support this initiative. So with that, gentlemen, I wish you all a great holiday season, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, all those good things. And we'll look forward to working with you on this initiative in 2025.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.